Hi, folks. This is Coach Rich, Endurance Nation, home of the world's fastest and largest online triathlon team, Ironman Tri Club 2013 World Champions, and home of the only free 7-day trial in the coaching world. That's right. We offer you an opportunity to come on inside, check us out, watch how Patrick and I coach our athletes, and most importantly, ask our athletes about their experiences with us. And we're also home of the First Time Finishers program. This is a program that we started in the spring of 2014. You come and train with us for your first Ironman, a minimum of 3 months. If you start the race and don't finish for any reason, we will pay you cash for registration for your next race. This year, the first year of the program, 2014, we've had about 145 athletes put through it. Every single athlete has finished, 100% a success rate. But more importantly, if you don't cross the finish line, I will pay you cash. So go out there, find me a coaching company that offers you 7 days of a free trial, and I'll pay you cash to finish if you don't finish your first Ironman. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. We're also home of the Endurance Nation 4 Keys of Triathlon Execution, which is what I'm here to talk about with you today. The 4 Keys started as a talk that I started doing at the races back in 2002. In 2008, Patrick and I got together, created the 4 Keys DVD. We've given away 15,000 copies of these DVDs. This year, Patrick and I have done 4 Keys talks at Ironman Texas, Coeur d'Alene, Lake Placid, Mont Tremblant, Wisconsin, Chattanooga, Lake Tahoe, and I'm on deck in a couple weeks to go to Ironman Arizona, which is what this talk is about, which is me getting your head straight very quickly about some keys about racing Ironman Arizona. Okay, let me first explain to you how every single Ironman bike course works. Okay, you've got the first 30 miles, 20 to 30 miles of every Ironman bike course I call the stupid zone. Okay, everyone has a disconnect. It feels like you're riding easy. Your heart rate says that you're riding easy, but if we had power on your bike, we would see that you're not riding easy. So there's this internal disconnect where you think you're doing one thing, but you're actually not. At the same time, everyone else has that same disconnect, and the net is everyone's riding way too fast in the first 30 miles. They continue making those errors, and they start to slow down, but then the pacing errors that people have made in the first 20 to 30 miles and continue to make, but maybe not as much through about mile 60 or 70, those start to express themselves in my next zone, which is the oh my god I'm fooked zone. Okay, which is after about mile 80 or so. And so every race has about 20 to 30 miles of everyone working way too hard, then another 30 to 40 miles, 50 miles of people working slightly too hard, and then a final 30 miles of people paying for that dramatically and slowing down very drastically in the last 30 miles of the bike. And they've got 30 miles to think about how they've screwed themselves because they have to run a marathon. Then they get off on the marathon and they start running too fast. I've got my own zones for the marathon. Okay, but so now let's talk about how Arizona, the terrain on the Arizona bike course fits within these zones. Key terrain at the Ironman Arizona bike course is the Beeline Highway. This is 9 miles out, 9 miles back. It's a gradual false flat, maybe 2%, mostly out, up, 2% back. So there's that. And then at the same time, because this is the desert, winds pick up across the day, and the beeline is in one direction, 9 miles out, 9 miles back. So let me explain how the false flat, the Winds, and the One Direction, not the band, all conspire at Arizona. Okay, you'll bang a left on the beeline, and you're well inside my stupid zone. And so chances are that despite what you think, you will be working too hard for 9 miles on a 2% grade, and it's very, very difficult for you to get a sense of how hard you're working, too hard. At the same time, everyone's going to be doing the same thing. So the net is, on your first trip out on the beeline, you'll be looking down, at heart rate X. I'm used to seeing speed Y. I wonder why I'm not seeing Y. Oh, it's because I'm on a false flat. Coach Rich told me about this. But then I'm getting all this feedback from everyone just blasting by, and I get caught up, and it's very easy to ride too hard on a false flat for 9 miles. That's a long time for you to screw up. Then you flip it. You start coming down. You're a little bit gassed from the way up, and or people naturally come off the gas on a downhill, so people give up a lot of speed going back into town. You start your second lap. Now it's getting later in the day. The winds start to pick up, and now the fact that this course has you're going in one direction for 9 miles, the wind now is typically you're either in a headwind, a tailwind, or a crosswind from one direction for either 9 miles out or 9 miles back. And so on the second and third loops, if you make the very, very common error of riding too hard on a false flat, and or riding too hard into a headwind, or coming off the gas too much on the downhill back, or coming off the gas with a tailwind coming back, there's no guarantee, whether it's going to be headwind, tailwind, out or back. Okay, there will be wind, and because you're going that way for a long time, whatever that wind is doing to you is doing that to you for a long time. Okay, so that's your second lap. And now on the third lap, this is when you're inside my OMG WTF zone. Okay, now your neck's tired, your back's tired, your shoulders are tired, and people start to sit up. And now you're sitting up into either a headwind or a crosswind or a tailwind, and you're coming off the gas, and you've got all this time to think about about the marathon that you have to run. And so when I do my clinics on the Ironman courses, and when I do my Four Keys talks, when I talk about wind, when I talk about the effects that improper pacing have on your riding position later on in the day, and what that means with regards to winds picking up across the day, Ironman Arizona is the course that I use as my prime example of all of that. And so watch. On the beeline, on lap 3, you will see people sitting up, and they'll be tired, and they're giving away a lot of speed, huge speed. Lap 3 of the Beeline Highway at Ironman Arizona is what it's all about. Now, while you've been listening to me in this video, down here at the bottom, I'm going to put here after this talk, but a little advertisement about my Four Keys talk. This is my last Four Keys talk of 2014. Patrick and I had 250 athletes at our Ironman Chattanooga talk. I had 150 at my Wisconsin talk. I had 100 at Lake Tahoe. Similar numbers all across the Ironman season. This is a free talk where what I just told you is just a tiny little bit. So what I do is I give you a bachelor's in Ironman race day execution with a master's in its application to Ironman Arizona, but I save the PhD doctorate stuff for my squad. Okay, so come on out. Love to see you. Be about 90 minutes. I will absolutely get your head screwed on straight about how to race Ironman in general, Ironman Arizona in particular, I'm there all weekend to answer your questions, and I'll be out on the course on a motorcycle on race day that looks like this Endurance Nation flag. I'm awesome. I'm very proud of my sticker kit, which I'm putting on soon. But looking forward to seeing all of you. I got a lot more for you at my Four Keys talk, so please come and check it out. Thanks, folks. Bye.